If you work in tech, or really on any kind of project team, you know all about Agile development. But what if we could take the hardest part of that process, getting from that amazing light bulb moment to an actual plan, and just completely rethink it? Today, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
You know how it is. Every great product, every killer feature, it all starts with an idea. But there's always this gap, right? Between that first spark and a plan that your team can actually build from. The real trick isn't just having the idea. It's about bridging that gap and turning it into something real without losing all your momentum along the way.
So yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you actually do that? How do you take a concept that's maybe a little fuzzy and transform it into a crystal-clear roadmap that your engineers and designers can just pick up and run with?
Well, the old way meant a mountain of work. We're talking hours, sometimes days, spent writing these long, tedious spec documents, trying to map out every single user flow, and guessing at every possible edge case. It's the kind of heavy lifting that can honestly just crush the excitement right out of a great idea before you even write a single line of code.
Okay, so that old, painful way is exactly what a new tool called Agiloop INVENT is here to blow up. The whole idea behind it is actually pretty brilliant and simple. What if you could build out a complete project plan, not by writing, but just by talking it through?
And the promise here is a big one. They're saying you can take any idea, whether it's a brand new app or just the next feature you want to ship, and turn it into a complete, build-ready blueprint almost instantly. We're talking about shrinking that planning phase from weeks down to literally minutes.
And this really nails the difference. Look at the contrast here. On one side, you've got the old way. Tedious manual specs, all that heavy lifting, hours and hours of documentation. And on the other, the Agiloop way. A natural conversation that leads to an instant blueprint. It's all about trading those long hours of typing for just a few minutes of focused, creative discussion.
The whole experience is meant to feel totally seamless. You're basically having a conversation with an AI that's super smart about asking the right questions. It guides you to flesh out every little detail, every feature, user flow, and tricky edge case, so that the whole process of being thorough feels completely intuitive, not like a chore. You get it all done without even realizing you're doing work.
All right, so how does it actually pull this off? Well, it all boils down to this really simple three-step framework: dream, define, and done. This is basically the engine that takes you from a fuzzy idea to a totally concrete plan.
So first, you dream. You just start with your core idea. Doesn't matter if it's big or small. Then comes the magic part, define. This is where the conversational AI from Invent jumps in and starts asking you these really smart, targeted questions to pull all the details out of your head. And before you know it, you're done. The system just hands you this comprehensive blueprint, packed with features, user stories, and even cost and effort estimates.
Now that obviously brings up a pretty important question. When they say blueprint, what do they actually mean? What are the real, tangible things you get at the end of this conversation?
And the answer is a lot. The output is seriously comprehensive. You get your detailed specs, a complete feature breakdown, and user stories that are ready to be dropped right into your backlog. But it doesn't stop there. You also get those cost and effort estimates, visual user flows, and it even flags potential edge cases you might have missed. It's like the entire planning phase automated and handed to you in one neat package.
But look, a beautiful plan is pretty useless if it just sits in a folder on your computer, right? It has to lead to action. And this is a really critical piece of the puzzle. The blueprint you create isn't some dead end. It's designed to be the starting line, plugging directly into the tools your team already lives in every day.
You can export the whole thing directly into the major platforms you'd expect, like Azure DevOps, Jira, and Trello. That seamless integration is key. It means you're not adding some clunky new step to your process. You're just hitting the fast forward button on the one you already have.
So when you start thinking about that kind of workflow integration, you realize this is about something way bigger than just a slick planning tool. This is really a glimpse into what Agile development itself could look like in the age of AI.
The mission here is huge. It's about redefining Agile for the world we live in now. It's about taking those principles that have served us so well for decades and supercharging them with the power of artificial intelligence to make the entire process faster, smarter, and just better. So what does that actually mean day to day? Well, it's about bringing three game-changing things to the table. First, clarity, so everyone on the team is always on the exact same page. Second, speed,
So you can move from that first idea to actually shipping code faster than you ever thought possible. And finally, intelligence, using AI to boost our own creativity and make sure we don't miss a thing.
And all of this really leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As AI continues to reshape pretty much every industry out there, it's worth taking a hard look at our own processes and asking, are they keeping up? Is your planning process built for this new era, or is it maybe time to rethink how you turn those great ideas into reality?